Hey guys, what's up? Chemistry here. Today I'm going to teach you a little lesson about arpeggiated chords, or also known as arpeggios. All they really are, they are chords, and they are instead of hitted at the same time, they like hit separately. Now, first I should probably explain to you what is a chord. A chord is a series of three notes. There, three notes or more that are hit at the same time. So that's a basic C chord. I know it sounds kind of bad because of the lead, but even this, that really ugly thing there, that's a chord. Even though it doesn't matter how close they are, it doesn't matter how good it sounds, as long as they're three notes or more hit together. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a chord. So all an arpeggio would be is it just hits separately instead of all at the same time. And normally, the basic arpeggio just goes back and forth like this. Now, in trance music, this tends to get a little more complicated. So this is kind of what I'm going to go through. Now, your style of arpeggio can always differ. You know, you want to experiment with a lot of things. Most of the time, you want a very quick note like this. I believe this would be like a 16th note. And normally, what you would do is have like the last, well, it wouldn't really be the last note, but the bass note be your harmonic note. So let's say if the song is in C minor, then like the bottom note, if you will, would still be like that C, and then it would go into these harmonies, right? So maybe the first thing you would probably want to do, actually, or some people may do, is, let's see, have something like chords at first, and then arpeggiate them. So these are just all chords, right? Because they're all hit at the same time. And then some people, what they might do is try to arpeggiate these three notes. There are things like tools that will help you do that. Let's see, tools and arpeggiate. I don't know if that would really work, would it? Okay, no, I'm just gonna, you guys mess around with that. But what you would do is basically just have these bottom notes here switch off to the harmony of your song, depending on like the placement of the bottom notes may not be always the same, but you know, just try to, I don't know, I'm just trying to come up with something, but that might work. So what you normally do, if this was just a basic arpeggio, is try to move it like this, and you got to make sure that none of the notes hit at the same time. And that would be like a basic thing. Now this is more trance-like, but in the background of a lot of house dance music, you'll hear these kind of arpeggios going on. They're not always like this. A lot of the times they're like in threes, starting from the top note down. So they're just the three notes going down like this. I guess they were always in threes, but I guess you guys know what I mean, like backwards. But yeah, you can experiment with how that sounds. A lot of the Nexus presets and stuff already have a preset arpeggio. And you can kind of experiment with, like, you know, or just kind of listen to how those things sound like. Now there's like two ways you can use these arpeggiated chords. You can use them as an entire lead, or you can use them as a background. When it's a background, then usually it would be what we just saw here, this here or whatever, like just something very simple. But when it's in trance, like a arpeggiated lead, normally what would happen is it's following kind of a more catchy pattern that we just saw earlier. And yeah, so it'd be following something like this. And sometimes you can just mess with this, to be honest. Like, whatever you decide to do, like, there's no right or wrong answer most of the time, but, you know, try not to go too off. Oh yeah, and you can't have any empty spaces like this right here. Try not to have empty spaces. Most of the time, these arpeggios have no like empty spots. You know what I mean? Like, they're always hitting. Now, a basic trance arpeggio is something like what I've been trying to show you guys this. It doesn't have to be a 3-chord thing. It can actually just be like we were just hitting A sharp, G, and C, but you can have it so that it's the lead note, which is this, and then just an octave C to C, and that would be the basic trance arpeggio, having that octave. You don't have to have that in octave C. You can have that at G if you want it to be. Now, to progress, let's say we want to keep this going. If the C is staying the same for 2 measures, what you can change is either the top note or the middle note, which is like this G. I believe you can change 2 at a time, but sometimes, I don't know, that when you begin the melody, that might not always sound great, but I don't know, that's just me. Alright, now so the bottom note here is going to be a G sharp. So we'll have to readjust just like we would if we were hitting chords. So the 5th of A sharp is the D sharp, or G sharp is the D sharp. And I think a good note would just be C. Now I'm going to bring it up here on the last measure to A sharp. And then F would just be probably fine. And then D. And you can keep going with that. Don't really have to restart. We can go into kind of a minor thing, or even more minor. Let's see. I messed this up, didn't I? Oh god. I know it's fine. I'm just trying to make this kind of emotional, like. Now that's a very basic arpeggio lead, having the top note, which would be the lead, kind of like if you were to try to sing this song, like the lead, like the top note, would be the part that you would actually be singing. The bottom notes here, the bottom ones in red, would be the part that is in harmony. So like the bass would hit these notes, and the pads and things like that. And the middle notes are just kind of like accompaniment, if that's a word. It's an interval between the bottom note and the top note, and it also accompanies the very top note. So the top here, like the roof of this arpeggio, is like the lead, the part that you would sing, right? Or the part that you would kind of like remember, or be able to whistle or whatever. You wouldn't be whistling the bottom or the accompany, anything like that. Like this is the top notes. So if you're not really sure what it should sound like next, first concentrate on these notes. If you wanted to kind of go like that when I was trying to figure that out earlier, and then try to figure out what would be the bottom notes. But yeah, like the lead is usually the first thing. Now for pads, it's actually pretty simple from here. If you guys are wondering, by the way, what lead I'm using Albino 3. This is the plugin. Right down here, as you can see, this is the category, and this is the preset. I just use a preset for this. Now I went to Trance and Dance chord category, and then I went down to the modern sequence preset. It sounds like that. Quite like it. So yeah, for pads, what you would do is quite simply just copy paste your arpeggio, and instead of using arpeggios, we would just be using chords. So we could just erase all those notes. Oh, whoops. So you could just erase these notes, and then just make these ones longer, and then make them all hit at the same time. So we're hitting the same notes, but we're just not hitting them in arpeggio form, which is usually how pads work. They're usually hitting these chords in harmony of the song. A lot of the times pads are actually just intervals, like they're not chords, just 2 notes. Sometimes pads are like 5 notes, so it depends how dense you want them to be. But yeah, I'm just erasing these notes here and just replacing it by one long note, or a sustained note, whatever you'd like. So we want to listen to those pads alone. See if we can get less lag here. Let me see. I don't know if we'll really be able to listen to this, but we'll see. And then for a bass line, it's very simple. The only thing you would do is just have an offbeat for every low note. The bass line is never chords. Basses usually only hit like one single note. Basic sign. I'm just going to use that for this tutorial. Usually it's just offbeat, and you just hit every bottom note or the floor of our chords. It's usually known as the root note, these bottom ones here, and it's pretty much just the harmony. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on arpeggios, arpeggiated chords. Hope you learned something. And I guess I kind of went into pads and other stuff too. This is a very generic trance method. There's a lot more to arpeggiated chords than this, but if you find a nice chord pattern and you want, I don't know, to be arpeggioed, well then you would just hit the same notes, but just not at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you need anything, just anything, guys, I'm always here. Well, I mean, I'm usually here. It's getting quite busy. I mean, I always say, you know, guys, you know, ask me questions, request me to do things, I'll do it every time. And it's come to the point where I'm just kind of becoming a bit of a yes man. I'm just kind of saying yes to everything, to everybody. And I'm getting quite busy, to be honest. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I like it, to be honest. I like it. So yeah, I don't mind it at all, but just consider that sometimes it'll take me a second, a day or two to get it done, whatever you want, because there's other people that are asking questions and asking for help, so I don't mind at all. I do enjoy it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So good luck, and see you next time.